interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you some breaking news. There's been reports all over the area of something crazy going on, something big. People's homes, their minds even, are being taken over by something called, what is it they're calling it? They're calling it Bad Movie Debate.
The 5-footer coming out you with this business. Float like gravity, never had a cavity. Rhymes so dope you might get mad at me.
Have you really never had a cavity?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Wait, is that a song or did you?
Yeah.
Or is it you just spitting?
No, that's a Tribe Called Quest. I think. Yeah. The 5-footer.
I should know that. I feel dumb. All right, let's see. You looking good. You're sounding good.
Okay.
Feel free to exclaim and enunciate.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fine.
Godzilla.
Perfect.
Okay. Cool.
That should be good. All right. So yeah. Yeah, here we
Cheers.
are. Cheers. Let's fucking do this, boys.
Let's talk some monsters.
We're going to talk about monsters a lot. Welcome to Bad Movie Debate. It's your boy, Jacob Babb. That's me. And this week, or episode, not week, I don't do these weekly. I don't know why I said that. We have Zach with us. Zach North. Say what up, fam.
What up, fam?
See, I like it. Whenever I tell somebody to say something, they always say exactly what I said. I'm gonna start saying it, making people say some really fucked up shit, and see if they go for it or not. I doubt it, but we'll see. So yeah, we're here to talk about some big monsters, right? Woo! Something like that. We're going to be talking about Godzilla King of the Monsters, the third movie in the new Monsterverse thing they got going on, because it's Godzilla 2014, Kong Skull Island, and then this one. Mm-hmm. And then they had
Godzilla versus
Kong, which I haven't seen yet, but I'm excited.
Oh, really?
I haven't seen that one. I watched I watched Godzilla Kong Skull Island and then this one. And then I was gonna watch it, but then Austin was like, "No, I want to watch that," because she likes Godzilla and Kong. She likes big ape movies and stuff, and then she likes Godzilla now.
There's a little more of a human element with the gorilla. Like
exactly.
You can see the emotions on Kong a little bit more. It's weird.
Exactly,
You
it is
relate
a little
to
weird.
it.
But that's neither here or there. But so I haven't seen that one yet. But before we get into it, as always, we're gonna do our top 5 big monster movies. Just to we got to get our pedigree, make sure people know we know what we're talking about when it comes to big monster movies. You go first. Yeah, you say yours first, and they don't have to be in any particular order. If you have them in an order, that's cool. Mine are just kind of thrown. I never do a particular order, so I just kind of say them as I look at them and stuff. So, what you got?
Yeah. So I wrote down like 12.
Yeah, you said that the other day. You had like 12, and you're like, "Fuck, I gotta narrow
I'm
this
just gonna
down."
go off the cuff right here. Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
that's one.
Yeah,
tier 1.
Mm-hmm.
Came out 93, year I was born.
Oh, perfect.
And actually, King of the Monsters, kind of a similar breakdown as far as the human characters with the married couple, Dr. Russells, both of them. Mm-hmm. One's like a biologist, the other's like a animal behavior person, and then they're working to save the kid. Mm-hmm. Just classic, Michael Crichton book.
The best.
T-Rex. And the special effects still hold up.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
awesome.
no, absolutely. Yeah, they absolutely knocked it out of the park with that one. Obviously.
I have Pacific Rim on here as well.
Oh, yeah.
That's fun. You know?
That's a fun one, because that's giant robots fighting giant monsters.
Yeah, exactly. So
kind of an anime kind of a thing on it, too.
Kind of Mobile Suit Gundam influences. I think in the second one, they have like a picture of the Mobile Suit Gundam, or a statue.
It's like a reference to real quick. That's Guillermo del Toro, right?
Yeah.
Which is
that's a
kind of weird.
It's a weird take for
his.
him.
For him, like he's usually like, more horror or like drama. I mean, he did the Pinocchio movie, the Netflix one, and that won Best Animated this past year. But
that was good. Yeah.
I still haven't seen it.
It's good. It's different.
I need to. Yeah, because he also did. It's like Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, which is kind of like a Twilight Zone thing, where it's like each episode is different, and he like intros each one,
right,
and stuff in a really cool way, but like more horror than sci-fi than Twilight Zone. But that was really good. So I watched all of that, and then the Pinocchio movie came out too, and I was like, well, I'll wait on that.
Yeah, you
like,
see the kaiju in the Pacific Rim movie, and you're like, okay, I can see how
you're like,
that's
exactly.
Del Toro. Let's see.
Sense. Yeah, that tracks.
I also got Peter Jackson's King Kong.
Yeah,
that was classic.
It's so good.
Really cool. I think we were talking about earlier. Andy Serkis does the motion capture for Kong and that.
So fucking good.
It's awesome.
He's incredible.
Yeah,
he's just absolutely
all
incredible.
the T-Rex fights, all the big monsters on Skull Island.
Yeah, the Skull Island sequence,
cool.
like that. All that is really good.
I like Jack Black a lot in that too.
Yeah, he's really good.
'Twas beauty that killed the beast.
Exactly, dude. It's, he's so good. He's so fucking good.
Well, then, probably my favorite Godzilla movie that's come out, Shin Godzilla.
Yeah, you're telling me about that because I haven't seen that one.
It's a Japanese movie, kind of a blend of a live action but they're miniatures, like you can tell.
Yeah.
But it's campy in a way. Like at one point, like Godzilla has like googly eyes. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah. But it's also terrifying. Like, because he kind of evolves throughout the film, and then it's like, oh snap, now he's here to wreak havoc.
All right, well that's fucking awful.
Oh, crazy.
In a really fucked up way.
And then number 5, I'll sneak in some honorable mentions if you don't mention them. But Godzilla versus Megalon, so this is like a
old
that's Toho
old
film. Yeah. So it's like, I think it came out in the 70s. You know, it's maybe the 10th Godzilla movie, Japanese Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
It's men in rubber suits. You know?
It's
Godzilla fighting Megalon. Gigan comes down from outer space because he was in the film before. And then Jet Jaguar is like a cyborg robot that's helping Godzilla fight. It's crazy. Like, my dad was military, and he'd always come back from deployment with all these like crazy Godzilla movies.
Yeah,
and
hell
like,
yeah.
That's just a sentimental one. I don't know if it's that. I haven't seen it in forever. But
yeah, right.
I just remember me and my brother would watch it all the time. You know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, well, that's kind of the whole.
It's nostalgia.
That's like like one of the most important things when it comes to like movies or anything really. It's like, well, it doesn't matter if it's good,
right?
You know, if you enjoyed it,
do you like it?
And like, does it have a moment?
You know, we'll get to it, but it's just monsters fighting. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. That's
what do you want? It's
exactly.
Godzilla.
Yeah, it's hard not to like. Absolutely. So we have a little bit of overlap.
Okay.
Jurassic Park is on mine as well because again,
can't miss.
You can't miss. Can't go wrong. It's too fucking good. And then I put Godzilla 2014. I really liked it.
That was awesome.
Liked it. I thought I had seen it, but I apparently had only seen Kong Skull Island.
Yeah.
Like closer to when that one came out. Because I was like, I swear I've seen this one, but then I just clearly didn't. And I loved it. I thought it was really, really good. Because you had said the other day it's like a disaster movie. It's more of like a disaster movie involving
Godzilla's almost just in the background most of the time.
But like that work. It makes it work so well.
The best part of that movie, in my opinion, is the final kill on the Muto.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, when he just like, oh my god, it's so
radioactive
good.
breath.
See, because I thought he was just going to like rip him apart and stuff, but no, he's just like,
boom, blast it.
It's just like, oh my god, yeah. So
and rip the head off.
That was pretty fucking sweet. That one is fantastic. I said King Kong, like the OG, like the 30s King Kong. Yeah. Oh my god, it's so good. One of them finally came in. We finally got it in on Blu-ray at work. So I was like, okay, I got to get it. And I actually watched it like last week or the week before because I've been dying to see it again because it's been a really long time.
It's a Hollywood classic. I feel like it predates like Frankenstein, Dracula, like classic Universal monsters. Like, I mean, in kaiju before there were kaiju. You know?
Exactly.
So
yeah, it's like one of the first big monster movies ever to kind of made that a thing. You know what I mean? Like people were super into it. I also really like it because the their Skull Island sequence and stuff is like so good. Yeah. With like all the dinosaurs and stuff, and then you have the oh my god, what is it? Like the long neck. Like that's in the water and
Brontosaurus?
stuff. Yeah, Brontosaurus that comes out of the water and stuff. Fun fact, kind of a sidebar. That is so the Loch Ness Monster started to get a lot of like press around this time because and people started saying that the long neck, it had a long neck. The Loch Ness monster Nessie had like a long neck, like that's how we think about it today.
Yeah.
People started saying that after King Kong came out, and that's then what they started saying.
That's cool.
We're not gonna get into a whole thing about like the supernatural, like high strangeness of seeing weird creatures and stuff, but like that's kind of, it's morphed into that. It used to not be that when people would see it, but now it is, because and like you could attribute the OG King Kong to a part of that.
That's funny, like,
which is weird.
In when they get to Castle Bravo or whatever in King of the Monsters, and they have like, these are where all the kaiju are across the world. There's one in Scotland that says something like Brontosaurus, Titanus Brontosaurus. You know, like
exactly.
That's probably reference to Nessie.
Fucking awesome. So. But yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I like the OG King Kong. But it's also just because it's like actually really fucking awesome and like an achievement for the 1930s filmmaking overall. And then I said The Blob.
The Blob.
I love The Blob.
I don't know if I've seen it.
It's so good. It's so weird. It's literally just a giant, like, gelatinous, like, blob that's like taking over this town.
Man-eating amoeba.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but it's huge. It's fucking awesome. It's such a good. You gotta check that out. There's I think there's at least 1 or 2 remakes. They're terrible.
Yeah.
The OG one.
When did that come out?
I think it's
Is it like black and white?
No, it's in color. I want to say it's like the 60s, 50s, 60s, something like. It's like in that era. I think it's been forever since I've seen it. But I think it's Steve McQueen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he's awesome. the main dude in it who's trying to figure out like what's going on and is like the hero and stuff. So it's pretty fucking sweet. You need to check that one out. And then I have finally Cloverfield.
Oh yeah,
I really liked Cloverfield. Yeah. I haven't seen it in a while, but like it was so good when it came out.
Right.
And it was like
the found footage
and stuff. And then I also really liked. Excuse me. I really liked the found footage angle. Big horror person, as everybody knows, and stuff. And like found footage horror can be really good and also be really bad.
Right.
We're gonna talk more about that come this Halloween season, actually.
Oh boy.
But the way it was like, kind of like in Godzilla 2014, like it was there, and you could see moments of it, but you don't really get it until the end and stuff. Yeah, you just get people freaking the hell out and stuff. I just thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Just like at the time, it was such a phenomenon when it came out.
It was.
It was like people were
and there was like a
weird
trilogy of that too.
Yeah, because then there was like 10 Cloverfield Lane, which is super fucking good.
Is that John Goodman?
John Goodman and Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Is it Winstead? Mary Elizabeth Winstead? Winstead?
I think that's right.
Yeah, she's in Scott Pilgrim. She's
yeah. Okay,
in Scott Pilgrim. But yeah, that movie is really good, and it's in that world. And then Netflix did like Cloverfield Paradox.
Yeah.
And like it ties into the first one. That one didn't hit as good, unfortunately, but the first 2 were really good.
Right.
But yeah, but Cloverfield, very good, very interesting.
Nice.
I enjoyed it a lot. So that's our top 5s. Any honorable mentions?
I mean, you got to throw in Jaws.
Yeah, Jaws. I was debating Jaws. I was like, it is a giant monster at the end of the day. You know, and like Jurassic Park.
They call it the first blockbuster.
It really is It really was. Yeah, that's worth a mention.
Alien. Not a giant monster, but like a supernatural threat. Really, like the perfect predator on
literally the perfect predator.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh hell yeah!
The Tremors
Tremors.
series.
Yeah, Tremors is all good.
Love and Monsters. Dylan O'Brien. Shout out Cassidy. She loves him. But that's one that came out. That I mean, it's just. I think it was on Amazon Prime or something. But just a cool monster killing survival movie. And then I threw in Monsters Inc. too, even though I know.
I mean, we're talking monster movies. Yeah, that's a pretty fucking solid monster movie. So that's fair. I agree with all of those. That's all. That's all worth mentioning.
I gotta smuggle in a couple honorable mentions.
That's fair. That's fair. I usually do too. Well, like in Knight's Tale, one of my favorite fantasy movies was Lord of the Rings. All 3 of them.
Yeah.
like not just one, but all 3 of them.
Extended
all
version.
36 hours is my favorite. Is one of my favorite fantasy movies.
Everyone's 80 years old.
Ridiculous. So, as we said, we're talking about Godzilla King of the Monsters today. Before we get into the debate, ratings, and good quote, bad quote, which is my favorite. I love good quote, bad quote. So Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh yeah.
Critic 42%.
Pretty low.
It's pretty rough, especially because like Godzilla 2014 was like 78 or something, and then Kong Skull Island was like 74. And then I think
Godzilla Kong is like 75.
It's like somewhere in the 70, like mid to high 70s as well. But then this one is a sharp drop.
Oh yeah,
which is a bummer because like I said, like I liked Godzilla Kong Skull Island when it first came out. I really hated it, but I liked it a little bit more this time. Right. I don't know if I would give it like a passing grade.
Yeah.
This time, but like mid 70s is still a little high, I think, for that one. And then we'll get into this one in a little bit, but 83% fan.
Yeah.
So
I think it's a Godzilla fans movie.
Yeah.
I mean, you care less about the human element and more about the monster mashing.
Well, they make it they make it very apparent that that's the whole point. That's what you're here for, because we'll get into it in a minute. But like the human element's pretty trash. It's pretty rough the entire time. IMDb 6 out of 10, which is pretty par for the course for IMDb. Like every single one of these movies is always like a 5 to a 7. Yeah. There's nothing that's like a 9. Or
IGN does like that 2. Too.
Like, yeah, exactly. It's always just above average. Yeah. Like always. And then Metacritic did 48%, and their user score 7.1 out of 10. So it's all kind of in the same realm there. So critics hated it. Yeah. Gave it a failing grade. Fans very much enjoyed it, which I can understand. It makes sense. But all right, so then we got good quote, bad quote. I love okay. This is always fun. All right, so Michael Phillips, this is the good quote. Michael Phillips for Chicago Tribune, he said, quote, "This is one franchise that doesn't feel fished out or exhausted or exhausting. The monsters, Toho Studio Classics redesigned, but faithfully so, are pretty swell and monumentally destructive."
Yeah.
End quote. Yeah.
Good quote.
He's like, yeah. He's like, it's not super fleshed out, but it's not exhausting. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, that's fine. And the monsters look great and we're fucking kicking ass.
Yeah.
So like,
the fights are sweet.
Like, yeah. So it's like, yeah. So I can agree with that. I can. The bad quote.
Oh yeah.
is fun. Brian Truitt for USA Today, he says, quote, "While it delivers on the sheer brutal beauty of a beast-on-beast tussle, it's a colossal misstep in several ways, from ludicrous dialogue to thin characters to ridiculous plot turns."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That one is...
okay, Brian.
Yeah, like, all right, Brian. Yeah, like... He's not...
Tell us how you really feel.
He's not wrong, though. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I'm gonna say it's bad, and Zach's gonna say it's good.
I'm defending my boy Godzilla.
Yeah, I mean, and rightfully so. I do very much love Godzilla too, especially like revisiting this world, because it's been a while since I've seen any of these or any Godzilla, and like watching the OG King Kong like a week or two ago too. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. I'm like,
it's cool.
Getting ready.
They break stuff.
Exactly. They break stuff. It's awesome. Yeah. And I'm here to see it.
Yeah.
So I like to, as always, I like to do, since I'm doing saying it's bad, you're saying it's good, I like to ask, so what's one thing you didn't like what, and then I'll say one thing I do really like about the movie. So what's something that you don't like? It doesn't have to be anything super deep. It can literally be like, is as shallow as like Millie Bobby Brown's acting was not good, which is true.
Yeah, it is pretty one-dimensional. Really, just kind of the points that we've covered. The human characters are the worst part of this movie. I was having trouble picking out my favorite human scene.
Yeah,
I think it's we'll get into it later, but just the dialogue. There's too many characters. I feel like a lot of the characters could have been combined.
See,
like, why were there so many?
See, I didn't think about it from that perspective, but yeah, you're right. Yeah. That would have helped. Yeah. Like if there is a lot of characters.
I mean, there was like 20 people starring in this movie.
It makes them all. It made them all like tropey.
Right.
They were pure tropes. Yeah. Instead of like everybody was literally just one dimensional.
I thought more of them would be like, monster fodder, but like only a couple of them even died.
No, a lot of them get really good out of it, like just fine, which is also not what I'm here for. I need some main characters to fucking get murked. Like I need like R.I.P. Bryan Cranston's character in the first one.
Oh, that was awesome. How they handled that.
Literally the best 15 minutes of the movie, or the first 15 before he dies.
Exactly.
And it's so good. And also, man, I'm just gonna go on record. Bryan Cranston, he never misses. He doesn't leave anything on the fucking table, dude. He lays it all fucking.
He didn't have
out.
to go that hard for us, but he
really didn't have to. He was only in it for 15 or 20 minutes. And like the opening scene when
and you care. You almost shed a tear when he sacrifices.
He's fucking
himself.
closing the thing and stuff, and like his wife's right there, and he's just
window.
like, and you're just like, oh, okay, I thought this was a monster movie. Like Jesus Christ, it's incredible. He's amazing.
Awesome.
What were you talking about?
So my bad.
Oh, okay.
I feel like some of the characters could have been combined. It was too thin. Like I feel like if they combined them, maybe it would have given them a little more depth.
Exactly.
So,
give them a little more depth. Make them full, more fleshed out humans and stuff and everything. Which is I can agree. The thing I really like about this movie, because I hadn't seen this one before, so I didn't expect it. And I rewatched the Godzilla and Kong to kind of get hyped for it and stuff, but I really like in this whole monster verse how they're like taking like old school fun conspiracy theories and like tying them into the narrative and stuff. Because I will say I'm a fan of conspiracy theory. I love it. I think it's fascinating, but I do want to go ahead and say I'm talking about like old school conspiracy, not like QAnon bullshit.
Right.
They have ruined the fun that was conspiracy, and now it's like become like way too real. And it's caused way too many problems and stuff. I like Hollow Earth and Hollow Moon.
The guy from the West Wing. You know, he's like, oh, this is way older than
exactly like
Sumerians.
X-Files shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of conspiracy, like UFO conspiracy. All that good shit. So I really loved because the first two they talk about Hollow Earth, which is kind of crazy to me because that's like a pretty obscure conspiracy theory. Like that's not one wait
till you see Godzilla versus Kong. Dude.
I'm super excited to see what they tie in because I had never really heard about Hollow Moon or Hollow Earth until I started listening to last podcast, and they covered it years ago.
Oh, okay.
Like years and years ago, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And it's
that's a good point.
And it's a long-winded thing too. It's there's a history to Hollow Moon and Hollow Earth. Back in the late 1800s, people were talking about the Earth being hollow, and that there's people inside of it, and we can go and monsters and stuff like that.
Kind of like Godzilla lore turned conspiracy, you know?
Exactly.
They combine the old Toho studio kind of stuff with with a modern kind of take.
Exactly,
cool.
And I like that, and because then they go and you find out in this one that Godzilla lives in Atlantis.
Yeah,
like that's where his home is because that's where he can get close enough
dude,
to
I'm just gonna chill here.
Feed off of the radiation coming from the core and stuff. I was like, yeah, it's pretty fucking sweet. That whole sequence when they're going down and he's like, oh, what is this, Egyptian? Is it Sumerian? No, it's way older than that. And I was just like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Look, he was their god.
This is fucking sick. I was so fucking hyped for that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that shit. I think it's so cool. So that's my favorite part about the whole MonsterVerse is the way they're tying these in. And it works too. Yeah. It's that works. That tracks. And I like it.
Yeah.
I think
where else are they gonna live?
Exactly. So I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's phenomenal. So I do really like that. But what I don't like is just about everything else about this movie. It's just Austin made a good point because she was watching it with me, and she was like, the opening scene with what's her name, Vera Vermiglia?
Yeah,
is that her name? It's
Dr. Emma Russell in the movie.
Dr. Russell. She we start up and she's doing she's got, come to find out it's Mothra,
right?
That she's got an eye on
pupa
and stuff.
Stage or something.
Yeah. And what's really frustrating, Austin was they were doing it, and Austin was like, did they not learn a single thing from the first movie? Did they not learn anything? Because they're still in there, and they're like, and we were like, wow, shocker, something is going wrong. Wow, shocker, people are dying because of this giant monster. It was just so 3 years have passed and nobody learned anything.
Yeah.
Nobody learned anything from 2014. So that was kind of frustrating off the bat. And then but then their orca thing, as they call it, that's pretty cool.
Right.
I thought that was kind of a cool thing.
Kind of calm. And I will say, in the first scene, Mothra looks awesome too.
Oh, dude, Mothra is like my fucking favorite.
Yeah.
Dude. Every time she shows up, I'm like, fuck yeah. Like when she
queen.
comes, yeah, she's fucking queen.
Yeah.
She's really out there doing queen shit.
Oh yeah,
and stuff. So like. Yeah, I was just like
she looked like a Metroid boss, you know,
in like a really awesome, like the best
like
way
hanging
possible.
in the chamber, like
exactly.
and spitting that
and
like
the water
cyber goo,
and then she goes and she's just chilling in the waterfall, and stuff, like so she can cocoon and then like come out and stuff. I was like, yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah, that's fucking.
that's what I'm here for.
Like that's hitting me. That's hitting me pretty good. But yeah, and then also I wrote down Charles Dance.
Fucking! I wish he was better in it. Honestly,
it's just he's such a good actor, and stuff. And
I don't think he had enough to do.
He didn't have enough to do, and he was everybody was so one-dimensional.
They could have combined, I think, Tywin and Dr. Russell. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
That could have been the same character.
Yeah, because like shocker, you come to find out like it's actually her that's doing all of this and stuff. She like hired them to like do this and stuff. But like, I'm never mad about Charles Dance showing up.
Millie Bobby Brown listening to Waves of Mutilation at the beginning. I only picked out two songs.
Yeah, pretty sweet.
You know, a little, I guess, foreshadowing. Heavy-handed.
Exactly. But it's pretty heavy-handed.
There's that, and then
exactly,
obviously
there's stuff in this one that's like it's super heavy-handed, or it's like what the fuck is even going on?
Right.
Like, and it's like you're either like walking me through this like I'm a child, or it's like complex physics. I'm like, how did we get to this moment?
Yeah.
Like what are they even doing? Like,
right.
It's so back and forth from scene to scene, which is a part of my frustration with the plot and stuff. It's like okay, I get it, thank you, but then also it's like, what are we even like? How did we even get here? And I'm like focused in. You know what I mean? I'm not getting distracted. I'm like intensely watching, and I'm like, what? I have no idea what the fuck is going on right now, or how we even got here. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so it's a little frustrating
because they go from that to the monarch representatives defending in front of Congress. And Ken he's like, wait, so do you want him to be our pet? And Ken Wannabe says, no, we would be his pet.
We're his pet. And they're like, what? And then he gets the phone call that
and then they just leave.
And they just leave. And then they just fucking leave, which is ridiculous. But like, yeah, it's like,
Dr. Serizawa.
What is what is even that committee like?
What are they gonna do? They're gonna shut down Monarch?
They're just like I don't know. It's just like it seems.
Do they think they're in control? Like they are not in control.
No, not at all. Like it's really weird. I will say too, his character, what's his name again? Dr.
Serizawa. And
Serizawa.
That's a reference to the original Godzilla.
Okay,
the guy who the scientist who you know, ends up dealing with Godzilla. Yeah. That was Dr. Serizawa as well.
Oh, it's perfect. Because he's in love with him.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
like he's obsessed with him and stuff, which I mean, I get it. I would be too. If this was real, I would be all for like, yeah, Godzilla's good. Right. Like, and I get that. But I will say, I was a little disappointed in his dialogue specifically.
Yeah.
Because we had him last time and in
2014.
Awesome. Everything he hit so hard, everything he said like was just so perfect. Even when it was kind of corny, it worked and stuff. But I just thought his writing, his dialogue and character were just way cheesier. This time, so that was kind of disappointing. I like literally wrote that down, like his worst dialogue, like immediately off the bat. He's saying like he's just saying like zingers the entire time that are like supposed to be like super like philosophical, I guess, and like make you think. And it's like, all right, well,
what are you talking about?
I liked it when you sprinkled it in last time, but then you were having normal conversation too. Like it was like it just felt like everything he was saying was kind of weird, but I still love him.
They kind of nerfed him a little bit. Yeah,
but I do like but yeah, I like you know, like so from there, you know, like they get a call that like the that not only is Mothra out, but then this unnamed entity of like group of people have taken Dr. Russell and the daughter.
Yeah, the eco-terrorists.
The eco-terrorists, as they're claiming to be and stuff. So they have to go find Mr. Russell. And that's another thing. I can't remember anybody's fucking name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there was too many people to keep up with.
There's too many. Yeah. I mean, the guy from Silicon Valley is in it. And it's
who the fuck is his name? Yeah, he's in the... like, he should have died.
Like,
he would have been the easiest guy to fucking...
He could have been the lawyer from Jurassic Park.
Exactly.
You know?
Like immediately gone. You know what I mean? Like, that would have been... That's how you do that.
Yeah.
Bring him in. He's like, oh, I'm so excited to be like working like with Monarch and stuff. Like, I'm a big fan of like your wife or ex-wife or whatever. Like, he has that awkward bit, and he's like, okay, cool, whatever.
I don't
like,
care.
gone. Now, first scene, first fucking monster
Ghidorah,
scene. He's
chomp
gone.
him,
Yeah,
dude,
just dead. That would have been sick.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know. It was just weird. But yeah, so they explained to him like, oh, you helped her build the prototype, but then she remade it after you guys got divorced, and it works, and blah 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 blah. So he shows up, and like I'm like, that's all cool, and like again, I think the orca thing is really cool.
Yeah, because they designed it to get like whales off the coast.
Yeah,
like,
that was the point to like imitate.
Yeah.
But then like if you change it and like add in all these other frequencies and stuff, you can like communicate with these
big monster
with
titans.
the big monsters, the titans as they call them. And as they're kind of explaining it to him, like how she was doing it, I did think it was cool. He's like swiping through it, like you show the map, like you talked about, like they show the Scotland one, but he's swiping through like ones that are already in there, and one of them is Titanus Kong.
That's right.
And I was like, yeah. I was like, that's it. There's a reference to that.
Dude,
I was
Kong
like, cool.
is referenced a ton in the movie.
Exactly.
I like that.
I had something else in here too that they reference him. They bring him up. I just wrote Kong reference. I don't know what it was. Well, they talk about Skull Island, I think, at some point.
Well, there's all kinds of other. I think they said there's like 17 titans.
Yeah, right.
There's like that spider one. There's the woolly mammoth guy.
Yeah.
There seems to be another Muto at
there's
the
fucking
end.
Rodan.
Oh yeah, Rodan. Yeah, Rodan's cool.
That shit was cool. I was not. I didn't. I knew it was obviously. I knew it was King of the Monsters, but like I didn't know that there was going to be that many monsters in it. And I was super happy about that.
So
Rodan was cool.
The four primary ones, Mothra, Godzilla, King Ghidorah, and Rodan, those are like old Toho Studio ones.
Yeah, those are OG.
Those are the only ones that they had licenses for. That's why they made up the Muto in the last one.
Right.
And
that
I
makes
guess
sense.
Kong as well, but that might be Hollywood. But
yeah, that might be Hollywood.
But the other ones, they aren't really in like the old like 1950s, 60s
Yeah, the
Godzillas.
Muta thing felt because I haven't seen a whole lot of the OG Godzilla stuff, but like the Mutas seemed like a new thing. Like it felt like it was a new of a thing. It worked really well because they're like a parasite and stuff, and that's why he's like,
I'm gonna knock this out.
Like I gotta fucking kill these motherfuckers and stuff. Which, fast forward to the end real quick. It's King of the Monsters. He wins. We all know he's gonna win and stuff. There's whatever. They're all bowing down to him, and a Muta's there.
Yeah.
Isn't he supposed to be attacking that thing on sight?
I don't know. I guess if there's not, because there was the male and female, and they were gonna breed or something.
Yeah,
maybe that.
Because they were trying to make the little babies and stuff. Oh, I did write down too. I thought this was funny as fuck. So, as they're leaving the little like panel and stuff, the dude from Silicon Valley is like, oh yeah, like here's a fascinating little documentary about Muta's reproductive habits and stuff. I hope this is the one that blurs out the genitalia. And he plays it, but if you notice, as he's going to leave, it starts showing but it shows the scene of them when they're like making out, and it's blurred.
Yeah, so, I think I did notice that.
Are their faces the genitalia? Because it's blurred. Like in the video he shows, he's like, I hope the genitalia is blurred out.
And Men in Black too, he's a bald Chinian.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, I'm just like, I was like, wait, so we've watched them like full blown have sex in the last one?
Oh yeah.
Because like because he's like, yeah, he just makes it specific to be like, I hope this is the blurred one. And when you see it on the screen behind him as he's leaving, it's blurred on the screen.
They had a little stealth coitus.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. And it was just like...
Shout out Justin.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fucking hilarious. But yeah, I was like, okay, cool. So we just watched them full-blown fuck in the last one, I guess. Like, so that's cool. But I thought that was kind of funny. I was like, that's actually kind of funny. Which is good. Oh, yeah. And then, so they find out the frequency thing. So they go looking... Because then they go looking for Kong, right? Like not Kong. They're going to look for Godzilla to like help with what's going on.
Right.
Meanwhile, they're going to Antarctica. Right. The baddies.
Yeah.
And because they're releasing out like the biggest bad
Monster Zero.
Yeah, Monster Zero, which was kind of annoying to me that they kept calling it Monster Zero until we do get the name later.
You get the lore download from Ken Want to Be, you know.
Exactly. You get the. I honestly, it kind of bothered me. We'll get to it, but it kind of bothered me that it was like, we finally get the name from the one Asian, the only other Asian person gets the lore thing, and that's what changes the whole thing. I don't know. Right. It was just kind of like
that's sloppy.
It was like, okay, so all these Westerners are trying to do it, and now we get some Eastern mythology and lore in from one character in a 5-minute conversation, and now we know everything, and now it's good. Yeah, and now it's like, I don't know. It was just kind of, that whole thing kind of was weird to me, and it was like we could have, I don't know, we could have done it a little bit better, but in that regard. But, yeah. So we saw the Motus fucking in the first one. It was like, that's pretty funny. Yeah, so they go to Bermuda, which also was funny that they were in Bermuda,
right?
And then Atlantis is under Bermuda and stuff. And I was like, oh fuck yeah! I was like, hell yeah, keeping that up. That's sweet. But
they had to go get wolf biologist Kyle Chandler.
Exactly. Yeah.
Also, he just up and gone. He was like, all right, well, you need me. I guess I'll go.
Here we go. Fuck. Like I guess
I'm taking my pictures of wolves out here.
Yeah, like I'm trying to like do like some low key shit right now. Like
Nat Geo.
Get over
he
my
wants
divorce.
nothing to do with Godzilla. Like. Because it killed Godzilla killed his son. San
unintentionally.
Francisco. Yeah, it was innocent bystander. But
still.
Yeah, so it's gonna, and that's what split up their marriage in the first place, and why they're not together at the beginning of the movie.
Which is also why she is going out of her way to do all this backhanded crazy bullshit, and that's something that we honestly really do need to talk about because Austin was, thank you, buddy.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. She was very mad at Dr. Russell.
Yeah. The mom?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, Cassie, dude. She's like, she's just a bad mom.
She's just a horrible person the entire time.
The Psycho prequel, and she's a bad mom in that, too.
Yeah, she's pretty rough. Yeah, she's
maybe
pretty rough.
She's good at being a bad mom, though.
I guess. I don't know. She's pretty good. I think she's a good mom in the Insidious movies. She's a good mom in that. Which those movies are pretty good. But refocus. I always do this. I always feel like we start talking about, we make references to other movies, and I'm like, oh yeah, did you know? Like, we were like, oh yeah, I love that. God damn it. Anyway, focus, Jacob. Focus. It's so hard to do. So her plan, this is how Austin kind of was seeing it, and it was like, yeah, you're 100% right. This is exactly what's happening. It was like, so your plan, she was like, so your plan right now, Dr. Bad Mom, is I'm going to kill everybody's kids to save my one kid.
Yeah.
Like, how does
they want to like re-establish the natural
order? She wants to bring the end times to save everything, which is another thing that I wrote down. I was like, wow, really original villain fucking plot. Right. You know what I mean? I was like, I've seen this movie a million different ways, a million different times, but hers is like, it specifically feels weird in this one. I don't know.
So this movie, I think it was considered a box office failure. Like, it needed to make like $400 million to break even. It made like $350, or something like that. I think some of that has to do with it came out a couple weeks after Avengers Endgame, right before, which did the whole, the whole genocide basically better.
Yeah, exactly.
In Infinity War, but and then also right next to John Wick 3, Parabellum, even just Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Like, there's a ton of good movies that were coming out.
Which also comes up in when I was looking up like big monster movies and stuff. Apparently that one has big monsters in it. So it was in.
Mewtwo, dude.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, it does have big monsters in it.
Mewtwo's sick.
Mewtwo's so good.
But
yeah, it was at the time that it came out. It also didn't do well.
And it seemed like like just kind of, if that's their whole thing, like, oh man, well, we just got this. And,
we just got this
in Endgame, and they did it way better.
And we've been building up to it for a decade. You know what I mean? Like, this has been built up.
Are you guys copying them? Is Godzilla copying Avengers?
Right, exactly. So like the MonsterVerse, like it was like, well, it's probably, it was already in production, I'm sure, and stuff, and like they'd already like shot, or like it was probably in like post-production at that point, and so they were like, well, we can't fucking redo the whole thing. So
I mean, you're right though. That it's kind of a tired trope at this point. Like, we are the disease, like,
exactly. Oh, and Austin pointed out the first Kingsman movie.
Oh yeah,
same thing. Yeah, they did it better.
Oh yeah,
like, they were that one's really good. Yeah. That movie's fucking awesome.
Well, I think with Godzilla, they were trying to just hark back, because Godzilla is originally a metaphor for original Godzilla came out in 1954.
Yeah.
After, obviously, Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's the nuclear threat of Godzilla is the nuclear destruction that the United States caused.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, it's a straight metaphor for that.
Right.
Like that was definitely like where it came from and the inspiration for that, and like that's awesome. And I
they're-
like how they tie it in with
Yeah.
this, where it's like they feed off of nuclear energy and
Right.
stuff, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Charge them up.
And then the whole thing with Dr.
Serizawa.
He like he has his dad's watch from Hiroshima and stuff, and like all that stuff. Like I thought that was really cool. That is a really cool like his character's backstory, like homage to the original stuff, and then like him coming to terms with needing to use nukes.
Right.
And so, because he's like, absolutely not. I know personally like what this shit can do and like how bad it is for everything and everybody and like all that stuff. But then him like finding a balance between the two and stuff. I thought that was cool, and I like.
I guess what they were trying to go with is like, these monsters. We're gonna nuke the world with these monsters.
Exactly.
You know, it's like, but it's just it doesn't work.
Exactly. Yeah, I think even in I want to say the Inferno, the Da Vinci Code movie.
Yeah.
I think Inferno has a similar thing. It's either Inferno because there's Angels and Demons, the Da Vinci Code, and Inferno.
Yeah.
In those three movies, which I love all of those movies, by the way. They're not good, but I love all of them. The Da Vinci Code's obviously the best one, but I believe Inferno is the third one that came out, but a prequel, and I think there's a similar vibe in that, where it's like, oh, we're going to kill everybody. We're going to release the plague to reset everything and everybody and stuff. So it's been done quite a few times.
Right.
And with this one, it's like, I mean, this is definitely the coolest way to do it. Like a bunch of big monsters coming out and like destroying everything. Like that's rad. It's better than some fucking super plague. We did that 3 years ago and we're all still here. So obviously that's kind of boring.
Didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't fucking work. So that was kind of boring. But it's just like her motivation and stuff. It's like, so the motivation is, my kid died because of these monsters, and now I want to bring back all of these monsters to reset everything, and then they can live and we can find balance again. Which in Atlantis, you can see that that's what was happening and stuff until things went bad, and then they ruined everybody and they all died or went to sleep or whatever, you know. And like, okay, cool, but it just, I don't know. And then like she wants to save Millie Bobby Brown, but like Millie Bobby Brown's character is fucking terrible.
Oh yeah,
she's probably the worst character.
Can't decide what she wants to do. Like
I don't know. Honestly, this movie was like so in a weird point because once we get revealed, because like so they release Monster Zero and like that's all happening and stuff.
Tywin
and, like,
shows up, murders and steals. You know.
Yeah, all that cool shit. The dad is apparently a super genius and a superhero because he goes into this base he's never even heard of and finds a shortcut to cut them off somehow.
He went rogue.
Yeah, he went rogue and like, but then he literally goes, he takes like a left instead of a right, and he's somehow in front of them and can cut them off.
Yeah,
and so I'm like right before Monster Zero comes out, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like that's kind of weird to me. But then also before that, I didn't like the dad's character because he really bothered me. His character, his writing, because like I was genuinely really mad because like I get that he's like he is like an animal behaviorist, right?
Right.
And that's why they're like, well, like, but like the main reason they get him is because he helped make this frequency machine, the Orca. So like he'll be able to know, and it's his ex-wife and their daughter involved. Yeah. So like obviously he's the one that they got to go get because like he's directly tied to it in every single aspect, which is like fine, that's fine. But then when they're trying to find Godzilla, and they're like, oh, we gotta attack him and stuff, and like he's like, no, like don't attack him. I'm like, okay,
don't attack him unless
like,
you know you can win.
Like open it up and like be like, we're not a threat. I'm like, okay, cool. But then, and like that happens, I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, they probably wouldn't think that it's a giant like nuclear monster like and stuff. They were gonna want to try to attack it. Like I get that. But then when he's like, he says like some of the most basic fucking animal behavior shit ever. He's like, they're like, yeah, like why is he even in these waters and stuff? And it's like, well, because he's looking for something. Like he's like searching for something. Like he's out of his territory, so like he's obviously hunting something and stuff. And they're all like, whoa! And I'm like, you telling me all these fucking scientists didn't think of that?
Yeah,
that seems like super obvious. Like Austin, like it happened, and I like pointed that out, and Austin was like, Yeah, that's pretty fucking stupid. I was thinking the exact same thing. Like, wouldn't anybody with a basic biology, like an animal, like husbandry or like knowledge, like,
well,
would have
also
thought of that,
not attacking
right?
them. Show the animal you're not a threat, and
like that's like I say, I could forgive that one, but then the immediate like, well, he's obviously hunting or looking for something because he's not like in his home base and stuff. Like that's what all animals like this do, and they're all just like, oh, You're so smart. Yeah. You're so cool. But you're such a hero. And I was just like,
what I do like about that scene, though, so, that maybe a little sloppy writing, a little not poorly executed, but the cinematography and Godzilla knows how to make an entrance, dude.
Oh, dude, no, yeah,
showing
I wrote
up
that
in the
shit
water,
down.
deep undersea, and like on, I think they call it Castle Bravo or something.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny, but I mean, and then he's just like peering into the base, like ready, and just everything looks so amazing.
Oh yeah,
like,
I put on there like cool shot of Godzilla swimming up when he's swimming up and he's like kind of glowing and stuff when they open the doors and everything, and then like he's like, all right, real cool, and then like he like swims by real quick and does like a jump scare on him. And then Mr. Funny Guy
will drive by
because then also another fucking trope character. I can't ever remember this actor's name.
He's the guy from West Wing. That's
he's in Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah,
he's Jake Peralta's dad. Yeah, because that's where Austin was like, why do I know this? I was like, he's Jake Peralta's dad in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She's like, that's it. I was like, he just has brown hair in that, and he has white hair in this.
He's got
like,
quippy one-liners.
That's all he does. Yeah, that's all he does. Like it's
he's like, what do you want to invite him in for a beer?
Yeah, and like just constantly with those. Every time he opens his mouth, it's some fucking bit. And I'm like,
he was actually my favorite character. I think.
Don't get me wrong, he's good, but I'm just like. It's like we talked about, like, did we really need him to make all the jokes?
Could have combined him with Silicon Valley dude.
And like he could have been making all the jokes too and doing that. Like and stuff like that. And then like there could have been like an extra scientist in the back. You know what I mean? Who like they ask one question
has one line.
And he says one thing, and then we're
done. Should I close the door?
Yeah, like and we're done with them. You know what I mean? So like that was kind of like whatever. But yeah, so back to Antarctica. Yeah, here comes Hero Dad cuts them off, but he's never been there, question mark. Okay, so this movie was already bothering me so much. I thought it was gonna get into something super fucking weird. Oops. Ooh, that's bad. I hit my microphone, so that's gonna be loud for everybody later.
Surprise.
I'll fix it. Yeah, like wake up. So this is a theory that I had going for this movie for like a good 20 or 30 minutes. That is so stupid, and I'm glad it didn't happen. But it was also like, it just felt like it. So when he cuts them off, and the dad's got him at gunpoint, right? And he's like, her name's Madison, right?
Yeah,
like
they do like the Lassie thing or Old Yeller, like choose between us.
Yeah, well they do that, which is also like, oh my god. But like I thought, so he's like, they're like Maddie, but then like it does this weird thing where. The fucking like it does the like audio, like the audio gets really weird and stuff, and like it like focuses in on Millie Bobby Brown's face and stuff, and like you can see the mom blurred behind her, like and stuff, and she goes Madison and says it very deliberately and very like, and it has like a weird audio effect on it.
Yeah.
And she immediately just starts walking backwards. I was like, she's controlling her with the frequency of her voice.
That would be
because
crazy.
She's a big frequency.
Dude, we're making a better movie right now.
That's what I'm saying. I was like,
if Orca was actually also controlling.
Well, this was like she like because she makes a reference later where she says like I've been like training her for this like scenario and like this day and stuff, and I was like, and she says that like 20 or 30 minutes later, and I was like, does she really mind control her with frequencies? And like, if she says stuff a certain way, she can control the daughter, and that's why the daughter is making all these horrible decisions.
Yeah.
And stuff, and like because it's not in her control, it's like she's being mind controlled by the mom. No, it's just bad writing. Because at first I was like, that's gonna be so stupid, but then I thought about it and I was like, oh no, she just genuinely like was flip flopping back and forth.
Because she's
like,
emailing her dad at the beginning. I'm kind of worried.
about mom. Yeah. And it's like, Mom, everything you do is right. And then it's like, I was like, it's just bad writing and stuff. And I was like, by the end of it, I was like, kind of would have been cool.
Yeah,
she was
no,
doing
yeah.
that. Like that would have been kind of sweet.
Learned how to work.
Because then like it shows
there.
the dad. It shows the dad's face, and he like has like a very concerned look on his face, and like to a point where I was like, is he realizing it?
Yeah.
That she's doing that, because it's just the way that scene plays out, and like the filmmaking techniques that they use, the way they shoot it, the audio gets weird and stuff, and she's like Madison, and it's like in slow mo and like kind of like wispy in a way and stuff, and then she just immediately walks back. I was like, she's fucking controlling this bitch, which would be, and at first I was like, that's stupid, but now I'm like, man, that would have been cool. Right. Like that would have been super cool. But
dude, I will say after this scene, this is when it starts getting good. Because Godzilla wants all the smoke, dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So King Ghidorah breaks out Monster Zero, you know, and just starts causing havoc. Can spit out electricity, kills a couple scientists, I think, and then breaks out, like, destroys the entire base, and they gotta escape.
It's fucking amazing.
And then here comes Godzilla.
Oh no, because Ghidorah, it's Ghidorah, right?
Ghidorah, whatever.
Ghidorah.
I'm not sure. I'll probably pronounce it.
We both bite me, honestly. It's probably something way off. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Excuse me, Jesus Christ. I loved the look at all of the monsters. Every single monster I have written down like next to their name. When they first pop up, I'm like, looks amazing. Yeah. Looks absolutely incredible. And then it's fucking awesome. And then it's like, and I read Godzilla's coming. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah. Like this is it. And so we get this fucking awesome fight. Like their first fight's so good, except Godzilla does have a big swing and a miss.
All-time miss. All-time miss.
It's a big swing and a miss.
He charges up his atomic breath, and he's ready. And Ghidorah's like, is this dude serious right now? And like, I mean, he's got 3 heads that are snake-like.
And he misses him by a fucking mile and a half.
Scoops it, and then
it's
counterattack on Godzilla.
It's rough, but it's a great scene. I was just like, ooh, buddy,
dang,
buddy, a little rusty, a little rusty. Like I just
big threat in a while.
I just thought it was so fucking funny.
One of the like so Godzilla is U.S. nuclear threat. King Ghidorah back in the day, it was kind of implied that he was supposed to symbolize the growing threat of China.
Right.
Yeah.
And that makes sense.
And also Rodan was
cool.
kind of supposed to symbolize like USSR. So
all
the big
he comes
three,
out in Mexico.
Right.
In this one, but
and then Mothra is kind of like the benevolent
because I was doing a little bit of research and
big
stuff,
friendly
and
giant.
Mothra is like the final and like the literally like the queen bitch of like protector of
like
Earth.
guardian angel kinda,
like she is the top of the line of like good when it comes to the monsters and stuff, which is why I fucking loved her. I loved her so much, dude, when she showed up.
And she wasn't ever like killing anything. She would immobilize with her like sticky web.
Yeah, she would be like, hey, this is
like
not
back
cool.
up, but really only worked in defense and to help Godzilla, which you gotta love that.
Absolutely love to see it. Was super excited that she showed up. Again, like King of the Monsters, I should have probably realized that there was going to be a lot of them in it. And I was like, damn, I didn't think they were bringing all of them in like this early, just in the second Godzilla one. So I did really love that. But but at first I was like, what is going on? I wrote down, I was like, one thing I did write down was like, the dad got like hit by something and got thrown like 200 fucking feet and slams like head first into something. Like he should be fucking dead.
But
he gets right back up. And
I
I'm like,
think it's a backdraft from the wings.
Yeah, like
Ghidorah
something like that. And he just goes
Yeah.
flying and just like rocks right into something. Also, cut to later in the movie, Millie Bobby Brown is running and like while the building is collapsing around her, and a boulder straight up hits her, and she just kind of like doinks off to the side and keeps running. And I'm like,
and they're indestructible.
Absolutely not. I was like, I thought the monsters were supposed to be indestructible, not the people.
Yeah.
Just like lots of plot armor. Like we were talking about earlier, like more main characters should have died. They just were all so protected for the plot, which I get, but like it was a little too like they didn't have to directly show it. Like you didn't have to show a child get hit by a boulder and still run, not even get knocked off her feet. Like it's a very quick moment, but I was like, did she just get hit by that fucking boulder and just keep running? And Austin was like, oh, 100%. Yeah, that's exactly what just happened, which is funny as fuck. I did think it was kind of interesting that so like after that scene, they all get out. Well, during that scene a little bit, the Millie Bobby Brown grabs the orca and she's trying to like get him to calm down.
Yeah.
And then like the mom like gets to it and like she's like telling Ghidorah like, no, fuck him up. And it's like, and at that moment I'm like, okay, so the mom is definitely the bad guy. Like I was already feeling this. Like she's very casual about what's going on and is like, yeah, we're just doing this. Like whatever they say, like no argument, no nothing. I'm like, okay. And then I was like, so what the fuck is even going on? And then they get out of there, and then the mom calls them and explains how she is the bad guy and why she's doing everything. And I was like, okay, so people suck. We're ruining the planet. She wants to kill everything.
She definitely has like a, like a almost 1960s Batman like video call. Like,
exactly.
Your move, Batman.
Exactly. It feels like that. Which like I don't hate that. I got love me some Adam West Batman.
I think that's the most important thing that Millie Bobby Brown's character does is in the first fight defends, saves Ghidorah or saves Godzilla basically by distracting King Ghidorah, lets Godzilla get away, and then in the end luring all the monsters to Boston of all places.
Yeah. Like because the fucking funny guy says what does he say? Like
man,
it'd be a bad day to be a Red Sox fan because the stadium gets like destroyed and stuff. It's like, all right, fucking very helpful. Very, very important. Thank you.
So they leave Antarctica.
Yeah, but what I was saying was I was like, okay, her evil plan, like she's gonna kill everything to save it. Like okay, like seen it before, but then I was like, I didn't actually kind of hate like when she's like, she truly believes that they are gods. Yeah, and stuff and everything. I was like, okay, like that's interesting.
You might,
I was like, it's not.
If they pop up in our world, it's like
I wrote like like. Shocker, like that's what she actually believes, but like I didn't think they were gonna go with that for her, and I'm like, okay, I can understand her motivation a teensy bit, a little bit more, because she genuinely like it's more of a faith thing, right, and stuff, and I was like, okay, that I understand it a little bit more, but again, I've seen it, you know what I mean, so it was kind of misinformed.
She had a crisis when her son died. God of destruction, basically.
Exactly. And
And she's like, all right, well, I'm just going to submit, and actually I'm going to help them.
Exactly. And I'm like, okay, that does make a little bit of sense. But then just like everything else around it, just like, all right, well. So they leave Antarctica, and they're like, well, what do we do now? But then that's when they're like, some shit's going on in Mexico. Oh, yeah. We got to get to Mexico. And the next note I have is fucking Rodan. Hell yeah! Like a million exclamation points like on my notes. Just like,
he looks sick. Yeah. His wings are burning the entire time.
It's so cool. He comes out of the fucking volcano and he's burning the entire time.
He flies over the town and he has like a pyroclastic flow following him.
Dude,
it's just like,
oh my god,
and
dude.
Like they have to save that kid or something.
Yes,
like,
dude.
Like they're holding them in the wind like it's hurricane force winds.
Exactly,
like,
dude.
That's what we want.
So cool.
Exactly. That's what we want in Godzilla movies.
All the human shit aside, and like all of the plot aside, all of the monster shit is so fucking dope, which is why I totally agree with the 83% fan score. I totally agree with that. I'm not mad about any of it. Yeah, in that regard,
it's a fan service movie, but they do it right. It can go poorly, but I mean, just that's one of my favorite scenes too. Just dealing with what is going on.
Yeah, exactly.
That they don't have to ruin it with bad dialogue. Nope. They just I gotta save this kid. Let's get these kids out of here.
Everybody's just going and doing and doing.
They have to take the big like B-52 type jet and like get everybody on board, and then so Rodan's chasing them.
Right? Yeah, he's fucking chasing them, and they're all just like, "What the fuck are we doing?" And then, but then Rodan and Ghidorah start fighting because they're like, who the fuck are you? Like in this, they start going off, and that's a pretty fucking awesome
Ghidorah
fight.
is like they think it's like Class 6 hurricane.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
that's him. Just, he's like that's how he's traveling around, and
that's their idea to get Rodan off their tail is just to fly right into Ghidorah. It's like, man, like
they're like, we're just gonna go in here. Yeah, exactly. It's like, wow, there's a lot going on, and then of course, I forget what it is, but I wrote down Dad is a genius again. He has some other a genius plan he opens the thing so that the other plane can get in that got hurt, and it's like, okay, Dad's a genius hero again.
Nobody thought of that.
Nobody else thought of that. Like, why don't we put that plane that's not working right in our bigger plane? It'll be fine. And I'm like, all right, shocker. But then something I wrote down immediately too is the constant deus ex machina of the writing of the plot. It's just constant like something coming, like one of the monsters coming in at the right moment to save everybody. Perfect timing. No one dies and everything moves forward. It's like, which I mean, like, they are godlike things and stuff, like, obviously, and it's just like it happens too many times. Right. A few, like 2 or 3 times, yeah. But it's like every single fucking monster scene where the main characters are involved, which there's dozens of them because it's the whole fucking point of the movie. Right. They just like constantly keep getting saved, whether it's intentional or accidental. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm just like, some of these people need to be fucking dying. Like I need to care about these characters. Right. If I know that they're not gonna die, I don't give a shit. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? There's no risk except for all the innocent people, right? The innocent children that they literally we watch. I cared more about those kids than any of the. We watch one of those kids fucking go flying. Yeah. He does not get saved by the troops that are on the ground, like trying to save people. They got the one kid, but that kid, they did not get him, and he goes fucking flying. Yeah, and it's just like, God damn, like that sucks. Like, and that kid doesn't even have a name. No, and I'm more upset about him than anybody else, any main character. So that's kind of a bummer. But, and then of course, this is where Godzilla dies. Yeah, he fights, he gets murked on. Yeah, Ghidorah just fucking destroys him. Like, it's pretty rough. And then they bring in the oxygen bomb. That's it. That's what it is too. That's also a reference from the first movie. That's what Dr. Serizawa uses. Figured. But it's kind of just came out of nowhere in this one. Yeah, like, they just conveniently came up with it. Hey, we have an oxygen depletion bomb. Hey, we've been working on this since 2014 you guys need to get out first there. Started happening. Yeah. So you guys got to go. You got 2 minutes. They're like, they're going to fire in 2 minutes. And they're like, no, it's already on the way. Yeah, it's going to be there in 2 minutes. Which, like, all right, shit. So... So, like, that's kind of interesting. Like it's like, I don't know, like, again, like, give me a little more, like, don't just, like, have the Admiral from the first one pop on screen and be like, hey, we got a new bomb, we're sending it now, bye. Like, let me know that there's other routes that they might be taking to take care of this. They don't really talk about that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, they don't mention... Like, they talk about the nuke stuff, but they don't mention, like, well, there might be they're working on something else that would be even worse. Right. You know what I mean? Like, instead, like, they don't make any kind of a reference to that. Yeah. Like you just said, like, it happens. Yeah. They just have it, and they shoot it, and it works. Well, one of my theories, so, you know, in Godzilla lore, sometimes Ghidorah, Monster Zero, and I think he is in this one, too, is an alien. Comes from a different world, and maybe that's why the oxygen bomb didn't work on him. Right? Yeah. No, because they do. Because once we get to the only other Asian main character explaining the name and stuff, and like, it is an alien creature. Right. Yeah, I believe that's what it is. Because it doesn't operate on oxygen. I don't know what's it's powering. It's not a natural part of the world like Godzilla is. That's why it's the bad guy, kind of like the Mutas were a parasite made out of like bad shit and stuff. So that's why he's like, I gotta kill this thing. I gotta take out on site. I'm out. This other alpha. You know? Exactly. Yeah, but exactly. It backfires, and they really damage Godzilla. He's not killed. He's kind of killed. He's killed. Yeah. As far as we know, at this moment, he's dead. Right. Because his vitals go bad. Yeah. Because they're able to get the vitals from the orca and stuff, which cool but very convenient that they can keep an eye on him like that. And Ghidorah goes off. With Rodan in tow. Yeah. Rodan's like, all right, I submit. Yeah, you're in charge here. Yeah. So, like, you're fucking, he goes full beta mode. And it's like, whatever you say, man. Like, I'm just here to help you now. But then, Mothra comes in to save the goddamn day. Yeah. I love this bitch. I love Mothra so much. Mothra's the coolest. She looks so good too when she comes in, and she's just glowing. Got her wings. Like, she's so beautiful. And they're like, "What the fuck is she doing?" And they're like, "Well, we can't find him, but like, we can like if we can piggyback off of what she's doing, we might be able to find him and see what's going on." So then that's when they go to, or that's right before that. They're about to go to Atlantis, but what they do is this is when the Asian myth stuff comes in, right? And we have that 5-minute scene where now Ghidorah has a name, has his actual proper name. He's not just Monster Zero, and we find out he's like an alien thing and blah blah blah, and that's why they need to find him and blah blah blah. And so now all these Westerners have an Eastern perspective, and and everything is better. Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, like I don't know. It felt that was exhausting. That good quote guy, whatever his name was, said it didn't get exhausting. That felt a little bit exhausting to me.
That is so. I mean, I don't know if the execution was there, but like I was saying, so that scientist is also a twin. Right. One of them is with them on the B-52 plane. The other one is at the Mothra lab. And so that's a callback. That's more Godzilla lore. The twins were like Mothra priestesses or something.
Oh, sick. See, that's really cool.
Yeah. And so they kind of like they don't control the monsters, but they worship them, and they
treat them as gods.
They know what to do. Yeah. So instead of making them priestesses, they make them scientists.
Right.
And, but kind of just a lore download.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
That was kind of weird too. Like 6 generations of twins. Like, oh, really?
Yeah, like okay.
Every time,
every single time. Yeah,
Wow.
Exactly. Like okay, that does give me a better perspective on that scene, because like I didn't know all that, but like it just felt like, I don't know, it just felt like so convenient. Like now that we were like. It felt like a shoehorn in of like the origins of Godzilla and stuff, and like it's like, okay, we have an Asian character. She's been here. She's been saying some stuff, and now she is like cracking the code and stuff. But
it's Hollywood appropriation,
right?
You know,
a little bit. It felt like it, but now that you tell me that, it does make more sense. It's like, no,
they tried to shoehorn it in.
They're shoehorning it in a bit, but it does. It has some validity to it now, I would say. So I'll retract my statement a little bit, just a little bit. Like I'll redact it or retract it 40%.
Okay,
all right. So that's a pretty good chunk. Hey, so I'm not as mad about it. It makes more sense. So that's fine.
But I mean, I watch, shout out New Rockstars, shout out Infinite Worlds magazine, shout out Godzilla Vangelis. That's where I got I listened to some of these in prep and got some lore download.
See, but that's great. Yeah.
Like, but if you have to research a movie to like understand it,
right?
You know, like,
but again, that's where that's where the 83% comes in,
right?
You know what I mean?
It's a Godzilla fans.
Yeah,
movie,
it's like if you know your shit, like you're gonna be like, hell yeah, like you're gonna be down for it more and stuff. Because like I didn't know any of that, and like, but like it works, and like that makes more sense. And I like that.
I wrote this down. I wanted to bring this up. Back to when also Rodan, probably the sickest shot in the movie. Rodan's at the top of the volcano, spread eagle, looking sick. And that attracts King Ghidorah, like changes the course of the storm.
Oh, yeah.
And genius Dr. Russell, Dr. Dad, he says, well, this is a display and King Ghidorah has been attracted.
Yeah.
He's either coming for food, a fight, or something different.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Or something. What did he say? I can't read my handwriting. Or
that's why I type all my notes. Talk to fucking
food,
Michael
a fight,
about
or
it.
a fuck.
Exactly what he's getting at.
You know,
but it's a PG-13 movie, so they can't use.
They get one.
Yeah, they get one, but it can't be in a sexual connotation. You can say like, "Oh fuck," or like, "Fuck this."
Oh, okay.
Or like, "Fuck that." Or in the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie, they slip one in.
Open the fucking door.
What do I do now? Open the fucking door. Like, and that was hilarious.
Nailed it.
I genuinely love that. That movie is fucking awesome.
Little tangent here. Have you seen the actors who play Pippin and Merry in interviews, and they're like, "Where would you fit in, fuck, in Lord of the Rings?" You know, like, fool of a fucking took. You know, like,
exactly. Yeah, there's so many good moments you could do that. Like, oh my god, or like, cast it into the fire. Fuck no. Like that would be pretty sweet too. Like that would be pretty sweet. That would be awesome. Yeah, like absolutely not. Like that would be like, damn, this is fucked up.
And another thing I wanted. This was really cool. When the fighter jets are foolishly trying to fight Rodan, you know, and like they're like, dude, you gotta get out of there. One of them hits the ejector seat right into Rodan's mouth.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, of course. Like it was it was like, okay, cool kill, but like, come on, like I'm already a little frustrated. Like, so don't do this to me. I thought that is actually really fucking funny. So then
Oxygen Destroyer.
So stupid joke. At Bad Times Again by fucking Mr. Funny Guy. When they're like, they're piggybacking off of Mothra to find Godzilla to see if they can save him and get him back, because they all agree now that we need him and stuff. Took you long enough. Obviously we need him. And he says, like, I forget what the context is completely, but he's like, I record everything.
Oh yeah,
everything. And the dad like gives him a weird side eye
like,
look. And so it's like we're having a very serious moment. Godzilla's dead, and we're trying to find him and see if he can save us. And like you're just slipping that weird fucking joke. I don't know. It was that kind of felt weird. And then the daughter steals the orca and leaves, so she can do her thing and stuff. And then we go back to. And then I wrote down, they really brought the Bermuda Triangle full-fledged and Atlantis into this.
Oh, yeah.
Guess we're keeping up with the conspiracy theories, which is cool. Yeah. Like, I love it. I fucking love it.
And you see, Godzilla during that fight rips off one of Ghidorah's heads.
Yeah, and he comes and
then
pops
it
out.
like a weird ectoplasm regenerate.
It's like
a Hydra.
Yeah, like a Hydra.
But
yeah,
not two heads coming out.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying that to Austin. I was like, yeah, like that's like kind of the Hydra, like Hercules. Yeah. Like, but instead of it just does the one.
I like to think Godzilla learned something from each fight. You know, they fight 3 times in the movie.
He's smart.
He improved each time. He tried to rip off a head, that didn't work. Well, the first tried to blast Ghidorah, that didn't work. Tried to rip off a head, that didn't work. Yep. You know, but we'll get
exactly.
To the, we'll
he's
get
like
to the
he's
end.
learning.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, the end fight scene's pretty fucking great. So they're going down to the Bermuda Triangle. They're going deep into the Bermuda Triangle. They find Atlantis, all that stuff we've kind of already talked about, which is fucking sick. I love it. I really do. They go to the daughter steals the thing, and it takes them seems like it takes them many hours have passed before they realize that she's gone. And stuff. And I'm just like,
oh, she could hear everything in the ship.
And also, conveniently that they're just having like a very serious conversation,
like listening through the air vent.
And it's just like
it's broadcast on the speaker.
It's broadcast on a speaker in the room that she is standing in, and the orca is in the other room that they're not in, that she's right next to. Is what it seems like.
She's like, all right, well, I know your evil plan, and
like,
now
oh, cool. So if I take this to Wrigley Stadium and put it in there, or not Wrigley, but Fenway, I can plug it in there and fucking do it, and it'll help calm everybody down. I'm gonna go do that. Yeah, like I'm gonna go do that right now. And like she goes, does it, and like we're like, huh? Well, guess we're just gonna hang out, and not worry about it. And they're like, oh, why are all the monsters not fighting and killing anybody anymore? Huh? That's kind of fucking weird. Huh.
Oh, well, they're all going to Boston.
Hey, has anybody seen that fucking kid? And stuff, it's just
and they don't have a tracker on the orca.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, the thing doesn't have a fucking tracker.
They're tracking everything, but I guess they're tracking. You gotta have the orca.
Everything, but the orca, you can't. Yeah, it just seems like the tracker needs a tracker.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's just it seems like a very convenient thing to happen for plot and stuff.
I think the orca is this movie's MacGuffin, and sometimes it works, sometimes it
there's moments that are cool. I like the concept of it a lot. I really like the concept of it, and I think it's pretty rad. But just I don't know, it's just that scene, I'm just like, okay, more dumb plot armor, moving it forward because we have to in a way that no, all of these people are clearly supposed to be very smart, but they're not at the same time, so that's kind of frustrating. But then we cut back to they're going down to Godzilla and all the Atlantis shit. Fucking so sick. Seriously so sick.
Great visuals.
I love it. So it's beautiful. It's awesome. They're going down, and then they get there, and they're like, okay, we have a nuke. We're gonna
recharge.
Yeah,
Godzilla.
we need to nuke him to recharge him because
he could do it on his own, but it'll take years.
It could take way too long.
Millennia.
Yeah, exactly. It could take way too long. So we need to nuke him so he gets a surge to be able to come back now. And I did really like this scene. Yeah. Because
they can't go in there because his sanctuary is so radioactive.
Yeah, that you'll die no matter what.
Doom yourself.
And they're like, we can't shoot the nuke from here because that will fuck up everything even worse. You have to, it needs to be personally delivered.
To his mouth.
To his face. Yeah, exactly. And so... Doctor, say his name again.
Serizawa.
I don't know why I can't. I think I just don't.
There's too many characters.
Exactly. I think it's more so. I think I just don't want to mispronounce it. I probably will. I think you're nailing it. I think you're nailing it. I don't know.
Zach's canceled.
A couple white guys trying to say Asian words here. But yeah. So he's like, I'll fucking do it. And this, I think it's a beautiful. I genuinely do think
he does love Godzilla, and they did. I mean, they. they definitely built that up. Like, yes, if anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be this guy.
Exactly,
you know?
and I think it's a beautiful end of his story because it's the final acceptance of like, because he's so anti-nukes because of everything with his dad and stuff, but he's like, I have to. He's like, I will take
and his watch is in that.
And his
scene.
watch is in it, yeah. And he brings it with it, or he has it with him and stuff. He like goes, he sets the nuke. He goes up to Godzilla and like gives him like a knowing touch and like takes his mask off because the nuke is like literally 10 feet from him, so he's gonna die. Yeah. And he's just like, goodbye, old friend, like and stuff. I genuinely really do love that.
Another
scene.
Easter egg
I think that's nice.
I saw from one of those breakdown videos. His watch is on 8:15. Yeah, which is exactly the time that
I literally just saw something on Reddit about that today. About not about this movie and like that specifically, but about
8:15 is when the Hiroshima clock went off, or the bomb went off in Hiroshima. And I saw, and several timepieces were like frozen at 8:15.
Yeah, I thought that was so.
That's a cool little Easter egg.
It's cool. It's a great little Easter, a good historical thing. But yeah, I literally was reading something about that on Reddit today, just scrolling through, and I was like, God damn! I was like, okay, so 8:15, like that is like legit. I figured it would be, but I thought that was cool that they incorporated that. So I really love that scene. I love that end for him and his character. Most of his writing was bad in this movie, but
I think that we were talking about my really favorite cool. Like human scene. I think it's that one. There's the Mexico scene is cool, but there's not like a lot of human emotion going on besides just terror.
Yeah, just full blown terror and like but this sheer one, awe of what's going on.
That's cool. And he recharges Godzilla, with the promise that hopefully that helps save the day. So that was pretty cool. And then I guess, Tywin is over here hyping up Ghidorah. He's like, long live the king.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Oh, my God. Like, all right, fucking cheesy. Sweet. Yeah, so fucking cheesy. But yeah, so that works out perfectly. Godzilla is back, and, like, he comes back to do his thing. So then they finally crack what she did, what Dr. Bad Mom did to, like, the frequency. Like they couldn't crack like the code of the frequency, right? Because they were like, well, what all is in here and stuff to get all the frequencies, and they finally crack it. And what did she do? She put human frequency in it, and I was like,
and I guess that made them think there was another alpha, and that's why they were attracted to the
I don't know what their explanation is, but I was just like, yeah obviously. Like I was like, of course you haven't tried. That was one of those things that was like, why didn't anybody think of that? It's got
grizzly bear. It's got
wolves,
lions.
It's got apes.
It's got basically Chewbacca's noises.
Yeah, like Chewbacca stuff going on. That's kind of weird. Don't know where she got those from. But
there's a walrus.
But there's something in here missing and stuff. But we're just, our whole lives are devoted to working with frequencies and stuff, but we can't recognize our own voice frequencies. I'm literally watching them on my screen right now bounce as we record this and stuff.
I wonder if you couldn't
be like, oh, bro,
mechanical stuff, like because they don't really. Maybe? They just say it's just human.
They're like it's human.
So is that machine guns? Is that just human voices?
I would think it would be human voices, like a biological, organic noise. Is like what it would have to be. Yeah. So I'm just like, I was just like, they fucking of course.
They don't explain enough. Like they're like, all right, we don't gotta say very much about it.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, again, like. We're going to hold your hand through scenes that you don't need your hand held. But then, like, the more complex stuff that's actually the cool shit, you're not going to, like, explain it to me a little bit more.
If it was, like cries of battle, it's like, oh, yeah, okay, they're going to war.
Yeah, like battle cries. Yeah, that, like, boom, that's all I need. Just a little bit more to make it more interesting. Yeah, literally a sentence. Literally a sentence is all I need. So, yeah. Yeah, her daughter gets hit by a fucking boulder and keeps running because I have that written down because that's when so she sets off the thing at Fenway and so Ghidorah's heading that way because all the monsters are heading that way, including him, and they're all like, I mean, I'm pretty calm now. Like this frequency's kind of nice, but he's pissed off about it.
Oh yeah,
because he's alien, so he's like he doesn't vibe with the calming down frequency. It seems like right.
I think so.
Am I reading that right?
Yeah,
maybe.
I think that's what they're trying to get at.
I think that's what they're getting at.
It's it's they think the orca is another alpha that he's got to take out. You know,
Right,
like
yeah.
another apex predator. It's
Yeah.
like, all right, there can be only one, Highlander style. You
Yeah.
know, like,
oh yeah, hell yeah.
so
hell yeah.
that's why Godzilla and Ghidorah always are going at each
yeah,
other.
no matter what.
Yeah. So
which is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
You know, like, I'm not
sweet,
mad about that.
yeah.
By any
yeah,
by any means.
I think that's what the
Yeah.
idea is. So
Yeah, which is fair. I get that. But yeah, so like they're doing that, but then I just thought Dr. Dad Hero,
oh yeah,
they're all in Boston. Everybody's now in
Yeah.
Boston at this point. Godzilla's on the way, they get there.
and they that's when they're like, all right, Ghidorah is terraforming
Yeah.
Earth basically.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
an invasive species to make it, his habitat.
And the mom conveniently realizes that she's made a horrible mistake. And this isn't going to work the way that she wants it to. So what happens? They get into a car and they're driving to find the daughter. They're like, where's she going? Where's she going? Fenway Park's not there. We know the orca's still alive, so she has it,
Yeah.
And we have fucking Ice Cube's son in the back seat.
Yeah.
And he says, I'd run away from home if y'all was my parents. And
What
they
did you
go,
just say?
what did you? They're having a marital fight. They're
Yeah.
literally having a fight about their marriage and stuff. And they're like, home.
Home. Yeah.
So they know to go to their fucking house because they're in Boston and that's where their fucking house is. It's like, oh my god, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
Exhausting. But I'm like, all right, cool. But then,
Home.
but then yeah, this is Rodan's in there and he's fighting. With God, because Godzilla shows up, he's fighting and stuff, and like he's getting attacked by both sides, and then my fucking bitch
Shows up like an angel, dude.
Fucking Mothra comes in, and so she's distracting Rodan so he can focus on Ghidorah, and it's just so fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's just so fucking awesome, that entire fucking
Mothra
scene.
has her hands full too.
Yeah.
For a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
And
not doing. It's
she's
not
spitting,
good.
She's spitting her web and stuff. And
She's doing what she can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And holding them off basically, and then she comes out with this stinger.
The stinger,
Yeah.
finally gets on him and stuff,
Yeah.
and just fucking stabs him.
Yeah,
and just
that was
fucking,
sweet.
Ew, God,
Yeah.
it was so good. Oh,
Yeah.
I loved all the big fight scenes. Obviously, are fucking
So
amazing.
Mothra gets a secret stinger, like the Assassin's Creed blade, like just
Oh yeah,
comes up and
it comes up out of
stings.
nowhere. Yeah.
And
Austin literally was like, moths don't have stingers. And I was like, that
just let it.
it
Just
doesn't matter. I was like, it doesn't matter. I was like, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not mad about it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Like,
Yeah. So she dispatches Rodan and is then free to help out Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and then at
they're
this
having
point
an
too,
epic fight.
But then at this point too, we got to remember that they can keep tabs on Godzilla, and they're like, he's about to go thermonuclear because
yeah.
they set him off with like a bomb like right to his face.
Super
he
warhead,
got, he's
yeah.
like basically becoming a super warhead. I did think it was pretty sweet when
He started like glowing red
so,
and stuff.
but like before that, when Ghidorah flies him up into the sky. And like he's about to go off and he's being dropped, and I'm like, what a cool visual reference
yeah.
to like dropping a bomb, like,
Right.
dropping a nuke.
Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
'cause
no,
he's
that's a
about
good
to go
point.
off and
Yeah.
stuff. And then he lands on the ground, and then like nothing really happens. But then he gets back up, and he's like glowing red, and he's like even the most powerful he's ever been,
Right.
and stuff like that. And the radiation, because Austin was like this, wouldn't everybody like be dying of radiation like immediately? And I was like, well, no, they consume it.
Yeah.
That's why in the first one, Bryan Cranston's like, there's no radiation here and stuff.
He's soaking it all up.
Because they soak it all up and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So even though he is going thermonuclear, it's not like rippling out
Not
radiation.
yet, yeah.
Not yet. Like if he actually blows, then it's all gonna go everywhere. So I was like, yeah. So that does make sense. That works. I'm not mad about that. Also, so then
Mothra comes. Well,
doesn't she?
Well, Ghidorah charges up as well because I guess Ghidorah is like, "Oh dang, dude, you
damn,
went
this
Super
is-
Saiyan.
this
I
is
need
wild."
to do something
Yeah,
too.
fucking watch.
You know, like so Ghidorah like chomps onto like because Ghidorah is electrical powered and chomps onto like a power station or something.
Yeah, some
and gets
shit like that.
supercharged with electricity, and then it looks like Ghidorah has the upper hand and is
Yeah,
kind of kicking
definitely.
Godzilla's ass again.
Yeah.
And then I think pretty much like incapacitates him. But then Mothra shows up. Angel shows up and distracts Ghidorah as well as heals Godzilla. Like sacrifices herself to make sure that Godzilla.
Yep, I literally have in my notes all caps Mothra. No,
yeah, exactly.
So sad. I said she saved him. R.I.P.
Yeah, she's my favorite character.
She's the best. She's the best. I was so sad. I was so sad.
Yeah.
Like, no.
So I don't know. That was a cool. And then then Godzilla is like supercharged at that point, revived by Mothra, and then she just starts like the classic music comes on, and just starts pumping.
See, but something that while he's getting ready to get like supercharged and like that's happening, the mom has her fucking change of heart, and here's her redemption moment where she takes the orca and drives it away from the ship so they can all escape.
She saw Mothra getting credit. She couldn't handle that.
Exactly. Something like that. Honestly, I always it's like I wrote down because she hadn't died at that moment yet,
right?
But like I was like, she's gonna die, and like that's part of her redemption arc. I wrote down, Mom dies. Thank God, she deserved it. It's supposed to be big redemption arc by killing herself to save everyone, killing everyone to save herself,
right?
But fuck her, because like this is all her fault.
She's the villain. She's the villain in the movie.
Yeah, and but they try to shoehorn in like a little bit of her redemption arc to where you can be like, okay, she like knows what she did and she's wrong and stuff, and I'm like, nah, fuck her.
Millie Bobby Brown from the helicopter's like, no.
Yeah, exactly, and I'm just like, nah, this is fine. I'm totally cool with that. I'm totally cool with her dying. She deserves it. But yeah, so then he goes thermo because she says she has like a little quib.
Yeah, I think she distracts Ghidorah again with the orca,
and like Ghidorah
gives Godzilla enough time to get
he's
back.
Like right in her face, and she says some shit about Godzilla like being like ready to go off and stuff, and then he gets back up and goes fucking thermo.
Yeah,
just fucking thermo, and it's sick
sweet
as fuck.
Yeah, he's just like pumping, pulsing energy out of him.
And then it's fucking awesome because and so then he
goes off. It's like a big explosion. You don't know what's happening, and then when the rubble clears, you see the Ghidorah head coming out, and you're like, "Oh no, Ghidorah won!" Yeah, psych. Godzilla is literally eating Ghidorah.
Eating him, dude. It's so sick.
Eating from the neck up, and swallows him like he's spaghetti.
And but then he's like shooting his blue shit too, and he like comes out of its mouth and stuff, and you're like, it's so dead. It's
very
so
cool.
Good.
Very cool.
It's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
So that great fight scene at the very end, of course. But then I was like, so then all the other monsters show up, and they're all looking at him, and I was like, God damn it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. It's like, please don't do it.
They
all fucking bow. They all fucking bow down to him, and it's like, King of the Monsters.
That's right.
And I'm just like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's corny, but I love it.
It's corny.
Dude.
It is cool, but like, again, like, if that was the corniest thing that happened in the entire movie, then it would be fine. You know what I mean? Like, I would be totally cool for it. And then we already talked about this, but like, there's a Muta there, and I'm like, how does he not
on site?
How does he not on site just immediately start attacking that one? Because that kind of like it negates the whole first movie now, which is good.
What
in my opinion
made me the most mad about that? Rodan was there. I thought Rodan was dead.
That's what Austin said. Austin was like, didn't Ghidorah kill him in the Atlantic Ocean? Like 20 minutes ago, like 30 minutes ago.
Well, yeah, and then Mothra stung him.
Yeah, exactly.
What happened?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was like, well, no, like he bites his neck and stuff, but like we've seen these things get bit all the time and stuff. Like it'll be fine and stuff. But then, I thought Rodan got completely murked and stuff. And then at the very end of the movie, as the credits start to roll, the most offensive thing of the entire movie.
Oh no.
They play Godzilla, the song Godzilla, but it's a fucking shit cover.
Yeah.
You're not going to play Blue Oyster Cult. You're not going to play the actual fucking one. I was livid.
Maybe they couldn't get the rights.
Maybe, I don't know. But I was screaming. I was so mad. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And Austin was like, what? And I explained. I was like, well, like Blue Oyster Cult, like the Don't Fear the Reaper group, like... I was like, they have a song called Godzilla. It was fucking awesome. It's way better than the shit they're playing right now. So I played it for her, and she was like, I mean, they sound the same. And I was like, oh, you don't understand. It's like, you don't understand. And she was like, but they did it first, and like, they're old school and stuff. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, so it's better.
This movie is, if we want to put it in MCU terms, it's almost like Age of Ultron.
Right.
They did this movie to set up the next movie.
Exactly.
Because
it's a
as the
setup
credits
movie.
are rolling, you see all this stuff about Kong and Godzilla and hieroglyphs of them battling and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, because they have an ancient thing,
ancient rivalry, just like you did with Ghidorah.
Because I was trying to convince Austin, I was like, okay, let's watch the next one now, because that one's supposed to be really good.
Yeah.
Let's watch it.
Yeah.
And she was like. It was kind of late at that point, and she was like, no, I'm going to sleep,
yeah.
and I don't want you to watch it without me. And I was like, well, let's just watch the trailer. And they talk about how they have their species have been at each other's throats forever, and that's why
you got to check it out.
They attack on sight.
It's really fun.
And they're the last of their respective species and stuff. So of course they're gonna.
So
be attacking
did you?
on sight.
They have an after credit scene as well. Did you see that?
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Okay. So
shit.
So Charles Dance, Tywin survives,
of
right?
Course, yeah.
And
because everybody does.
Had to, yeah.
Every single character.
Somehow they recovered a Ghidorah head. So more Godzilla lore for you. They in some parts of Godzilla, the humans think to combat them, they basically come up with these mechs. There's Mecha Godzilla, and then there's Mecha King Ghidorah as well.
No.
Yeah, so
okay.
I think that's a set. That's a maybe in future movies.
Yeah, because there's a movie coming out next year.
The New Empire. I think.
New Empire.
Kong and Godzilla, New Empire.
Yeah, and then there was a teaser. I didn't watch the teaser, but I was reading something about it, and apparently there's something that looks like Kong but skinnier.
Okay.
And it's in the teaser there's a throne, and it's something that looks like Kong but it's not Kong because it has different colored eyes, and then there's as it's coming up to this thing on the throne, it's you see Godzilla bones and
gotcha.
And Kong.
I don't want to spoil anything for Godzilla versus Kong, so we'll just leave it. We'll just
leave
it there.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
But I did because I was reading a little bit about it too. Austin was like, so they're gonna fight, and then they're gonna find a common enemy, and then they're gonna team up, and then they're gonna be pals, and then that's what the next one is. And I was reading something about the New Empire one, and it was I was like, yeah, it's verbatim. You absolutely fucking nailed. That's exactly what's gonna happen. I was like, we still gotta watch it though.
Yeah. No,
she was like, I still want to watch it, but that's where it's gonna. That's what's gonna happen, right? And I was like, yeah.
Whenever I don't know who directed Godzilla versus Kong, but they're there's a definitive winner between Godzilla versus Kong, and there is. Cool. And you just gotta watch it to see what happens.
Yeah, because I'm curious, because I'm a Godzilla all day. Austin's a Kong.
Yeah. No, and I mean both of them are really cool. They're really sick.
No, I love both of them.
The fights are awesome, and the characters. I think they do it better because they don't give them too much to do. But there's there's some of the same characters, but then obviously
because I know the dad's in it again. Dr. Dad.
Millie Bobby Brown is as well.
Yeah, she's in it again and stuff, which is cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully she's better in that one. Is she better in that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. That's good. The writing would probably be better because obviously she's fucking fantastic in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
But the writing is super good on Stranger Things.
Exactly.
For the most part, there's some misses, but that's not the point. But yeah, so I don't know. Overall, this one, it's just the monster fights are super fucking awesome. I absolutely love them.
Yeah.
Every single time that the monster fights were happening, I was like, this is the best movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, this is fucking amazing.
But
all in all, it's a 2 hour and 15-minute long movie, I think. And I think the monster fights only account for 30 minutes of it.
Yeah.
Everything else in between is really fucking rough. All the human stuff, the human element, I didn't give a fuck about them. I just wanted them to shut up and get to the next fight scene. And it was just, I don't know, again, it was just kind of hard to follow, but then too easy to follow and stuff. And then the plot points, I really agree with the bad quote that I had on here. That monster fights are cool, but everything else is a misstep.
Yeah. My only defense of that is it's Godzilla. If you go back and watch some of the old movies, they kind of suck too. It's just campy and
they're groundbreaking and they're campy because they created that camp to reference.
That's
you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm in the same kind of boat really. It's all the monster stuff is sweet. It's it's what we're there for. It's awesome. But could have done with more of that and less of the human element, which is at that point,
right. I don't know. It's just because it's 75% of the movie is the human element and stuff, and that is all super bad except for the goodbye in Atlantis.
Right.
That I genuinely really do love that scene. I think that works really well with his character. But everything else to get there and everything after with the humans is so bad. I'm like, I'm supposed to be rooting for the dad, and I hate him because he's a fucking Mary Sue. Like he can't, he doesn't do a single fucking thing wrong. Everything he says, everything he does is the exact thing they needed to hear, or the exact thing that needed to be done to move the plot forward and have everything work out perfectly. And I'm just like, so fuck him, fuck the mom. Millie Bobby Brown might as well not have been there.
One-dimensional.
Like, she might as well not have been there. And then all the other characters who I can't even fucking name shouldn't have been there or should have been dying and stuff.
Well, I may have to concede. This is not a good movie, but it's got some really cool stuff in it.
It's worth a watch.
Yeah.
Again, all these movies that we ever talk about on this show are always worth a fucking watch. But, yeah, this one's bad.
It's not good.
It's not good. It's not good. Especially when you got Godzilla and, like, honestly, like, I dislike this one more than I disliked Kong and Kong Skull Island. When that came out, I really hated that movie. I thought that movie had flat, like, characters and stuff. It was like, Brie Larson, I'm a woman.
Yeah,
like,
Tom Hiddleston, hero.
I'm a cool hero guy. John C. Reilly, funny crazy dude. Samuel Jackson, military guy, leader of military guy who's losing his mind and stuff. But I watched it again and I was like, well, they're a little bit more complex and like it's not as apparent as it felt like the first time I saw it.
At least you know what they're doing.
Exactly. At least I know what the fuck is going on. And if John C. Reilly's gonna be the funny guy, all right, I'm there for that because he's fucking great. He's hilarious. I love his character and stuff. And like. Austin during that one, she was like, oh, is that one military guy gonna be his son? Like, turn out to be his son. She was like, they even kind of look alike, and I was like, honestly, I don't remember, but I think that may be where that goes. Because the one that they're talking about the Detroit. The baseball teams. He's talking about the Cubs. They're talking about the Tigers and stuff. And like they're like having a back and forth. He literally says like, "Don't do it, son." To him directly at one point, and it's like. Is that him? But then you have the little after thing, and it's not him. And it was like, that would have been a little too on the nose, probably. So probably best that they didn't do it.
Right.
But it felt like it. You know what I mean? Like, and that's part of my dislike of Kong a little bit. It was like it seems like they set up stuff and then didn't go through with it, but then kept that in. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, as of right now, I've only seen the first three. Godzilla 2014's at the top. Yeah. Kong Skull Island's like. Is below that, and then King of the Monsters is way down. Because
I feel you.
I actually cared about like Brie Larson and Tom Hiddleston in that one, and like John C. Reilly, like their whole journey. I actually like cared about them. They were all making dumb decisions. They were all making smart decisions. Yeah. You know what I mean? This one was like, if you make a dumb decision at the beginning, you're dumb the rest of the movie. That's right. If you make a good decision at the beginning of the movie, you make good ones the entire time. So yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. Movie. So I think what is it? 42% from the critics.
I might bump it up if it were me. Maybe 50, 55 range.
I would say, not above 60, which is my threshold.
Because the action in it is, and the visuals, like it looks great. Yeah, you know? I
would say, it looks amazing, absolutely. All the monsters look fucking amazing. All the fight scenes are really, really good. 42% is a little too harsh because all that's really good. And you illuminated me to some of the like Godzilla lore and stuff. So like I was like mad about like, okay, here comes the Eastern philosophy to fix everything. Right. Seems like a shoehorny like kind of a bit, but you elaborated on that, and like that I actually don't hate that as much anymore. And I'm like, actually that makes sense, and like it does work in the grand scheme of stuff. So like it does boost. That helps boost it. Yeah. And of course, all the conspiracy
like I said, it's a Godzilla fans movie.
Exactly.
With just very bad human characters.
Exactly. You know? Yeah, exactly. So. That's what I'm saying. Like, and God only knows, like, we hate the critics at Rotten Tomatoes on this fucking podcast. I bet half of them hadn't even seen Godzilla 2014, bro. Right.
It's an imperfect metric.
Exactly. It's like, oh, you've never seen a Godzilla movie before, and you're gonna write about this one.
Right.
Come on. Like, I watched the two new ones that are directly related to it, and I appreciated it more. If I had just watched this movie, I would have been like, why would I waste my time watching those? You know, I'd seen the OG Godzilla like at least once or twice, long time ago and stuff. So like, I was able to understand it. Like all the nuke stuff, I was like, that's where it all comes from. So like, I don't know, just like 42% does seem a little bit harsh, but it's definitely overall a bad movie.
It's not getting into good, but
it's not getting into good. But it's
a Godzilla movie, man. You know, it's
unfortunately we're forced to be here. My hands are tied. We're forced to be black and white here, so it's bad. It's bad. It's either good or bad. It's bad. So so it's bad. Bummer. It's okay. I'll get back to you on Godzilla versus Kong, because I really do. Yeah, I'm really excited to watch that. It's
just fun. It's really
that
fun.
one just seems like a lot of fun. And the trailer was pretty tight. I'd never seen the trailer or anything. As everybody should know by now, I hate trailers, so I only watch them right before I'm going to watch something and stuff.
That was one of the biggest movies, because it was supposed to come out in 2020, but it got pushed back 2021, I think.
Yeah, it was 2021.
It was one of, they say it's one of the movies that's not saved the film industry, but definitely helped keep theaters open.
I remember when it came out, like there was a lot of articles and stuff.
We definitely went to it. And
I actually remember we were gonna I think we were like a bunch of us were all going to hang out or gonna do something, and Austin was talking to Cassidy if like y'all were gonna go, and y'all were like, well, we're gonna go see Godzilla versus Kong real quick, and we were like, oh cool,
you had to I forget everything. I mean, there was only so many people in the theater and all that.
Because I remember I was like, oh damn, they're going for it. Like it's still, because it was like pretty fresh still, all of like the theaters being open and stuff. But I was like, oh damn, they're going for it. So it definitely did, because I know a lot of people.
Man. I'm a Godzilla fan.
Oh yeah, you had to. You absolutely had to. I completely agree with that. But yeah, all right. So all in all, it's bad. It's unfortunate. I really wanted to like it. I really did. I knew going in that I was going to be saying it was bad, but unfortunately, this was one of those ones that was easy to be like, this is bad. It's usually doesn't always go like that. Usually I'm like, man, I don't want to talk shit about this.
Hey man, chalk up one for you on the scoreboard.
Yeah,
you know?
hell yeah. So I've won 2.
There you go.
I've won 2 now. So that's I'm getting there. I'm getting better.
That percentage up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, hey, man. They don't ask how, they ask how many, and that's still bad. It's still pretty rough, but it's all good. Well, as always, follow me on Bad Movie Debate on Insta, of course. Bad Movie Debate on Spotify. That helps the most, so please do that if you're not already. Did you do the trivia today?
I did.
You did?
I got them all wrong.
You got them all wrong? Oh, I thought you would have gotten... Okay, the Independence Day one was actually kind of tricky.
It was hard,
because I was looking up some stuff. They only make one reference to it. It's one line when he says, like the good reverend says, something, our Black Knights will be victorious. It's the only time. It's literally the only time.
Oh, man, it was tough. Yeah. I was like, oh, God, I got to get one.
But you got the Top Gun one wrong?
Yeah,
I thought you would have gotten that one.
I didn't. What was the top?
It was the call sign, like which one's not used in the movie. And it was Stinger, something else, and Texas. And Texas.
Oh,
was the wrong
answer. I guess I was thinking that was still Independence Day. I don't know.
Maybe because I tried to do 3 different patriotic movies. The Patriot.
I thought they were all. All Independence Day.
I put at the top.
I don't read good.
I put at the top the name of the movie.
Yeah, that's on me. Yeah.
Then the Mel Gibson Patriot. What do they call him? The Ghost. But that one was hard because it was like the Phantom, the Spirit, or the Ghost was the option. So they all are basically the same thing.
Yeah, I should have got the Top Gun one right.
Yeah,
oh, well.
It's okay. It's all right. There's going to be more trivia. That's the reason I ask. I'm going to follow me on there because I do trivia every once in a while. Got a lot of stuff coming down the pike. This might be a video one. We're testing that out. I don't know if it will be. We'll see if it even worked. The phone could have died for all I know. Halfway through. We'll find out. Follow me on all that. Zach, thank you for being here.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for having me, man.
This was awesome. Good shit. Yeah. Lots of fun. And stay tuned for more. Now say bye, Zach.
Bye, Zach.
Fucking got it.